Hello there, everybody. Many of you guys might know me as Tintled F. Some of you guys might know me as Rogelio Capone. Some of you guys might even know me as Sal. And if you're watching this video and you read the video title, yes, this is actually happening. Yes, this is true. No, this is not a late April Fool's prank like some people were trying to conspire and say it was. Like, this is actually happening. Yes, after 8 long years of making music, doing music videos, doing online content creation, I'm finally retiring and I'm leaving social media. And I know for many of you guys, it's kind of like a shock. Some people that I've talked to in my own personal life, they knew about this. They knew about this months before this video. Some of you guys probably watching this heard about it in rumors, but you didn't know exactly what the logistics was behind it. Or some of you guys on social media that I have talked to about this, you probably already knew it was going to happen and you guys were upset. So this is a video with no editing. This is just going to be a video where I talk to you guys and I give my explanations and we talk about the future. So let's begin. Many of you guys, with my first original fan being a trans person named Nikki, that ironically lived here in Cleveland before they ended up moving to Chattanooga and going to Chattanooga State. A lot of you guys have been here since the beginning of either Tintled F or Rogelio Capone. And a lot of people don't know that I originally started off as a Mexican-American rapper known as Rogelio Capone, which Rogelio was my middle name. And I did a lot of controversial rapping. I also rapped about politics. I also rapped about some, grown man shit. I rapped about a lot of different touchy subjects, and I was a very controversial Chicano rapper. That's how I started out. Because I have a love and appreciation for hip-hop. I grew up in that culture. And, I grew up listening to Mexican music because I myself am a fellow Latino. So I wanted to incorporate that aspect of my livelihood to my old rapping music, right? Then along the way came the Tintled F era, where at the end of 2022, I retired from rapping, and I retired from music at that time, because at the time I was like, there's nothing else for me to create. Like, at that time, I felt like I created everything I've ever wanted to create. But a year later, going into 2023, we introduced the whole Tintled F stuff, and we started doing alternative rock music, right? A lot of people called me a freaking poser. A lot of people called me an industry plant just because I switched genres. And I kept trying to explain to people, hey, it's not about me being an industry plant or me being a poser. It's more so that, this is something I want to do. And I've always wanted to move past just rapping. I've always wanted to do more than that. I wanted to be a music artist, not just a rapper. And that's what I got to accomplish this last year. I've made, pop songs this last year. I've made big band Motown swing music this last year. I made some jazzy songs this last year. We even still put out raps this last year. We've done so many different genres of music this last year that I proved not only to myself, but to people that listen, that I'm more than just a rapper or more than just an alternative shock rocker, that I'm a music artist in general. Because I proved, hey man, I'm not just one-dimensional. I can hit you with some big band Motown swing. I can hit you with some catchy pop music. So I proved not only to myself, but to a lot of people that I was more than just, this one-dimensional individual. And so many of you guys that have followed my career or followed my music or online content, you guys have seen the change. We've never kept the music the same each album. Each album was always intended to sound different. One moment we had a lo-fi album. One moment we had a political-driven album. One moment we had an old-school alternative rock album. One moment we had a Chicano rap album. And then one moment, here we are, now we have a dark wave sci-fi horror gothic album, which is the final album that we have out. So many of you guys got to be there for, those experiences. And the thing is, I never wanted to pander to just one audience. When a lot of TX2 fans and emo people were starting to follow me on social media, they were expecting me to just stick to making emo music. Because I proved making emo music was easy. But I never just wanted to be known as a fucking person that made emo music. And so for a lot of people that followed me for the emo content that I posted, a lot of people were disappointed that I decided to, make the music I want to make. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to make the music that I want to make. And that's just me. I'm not going to try to cater to a certain audience like some bands. I'm going to do what I want to do at the end of the day. And just like you watching this, of course, there's going to be people that are going to be disappointed in you because you're going to do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, if you're watching this, I commend you to do what you want to do in your life, right? Even if you're a music artist, I commend that you do what you want to do. Take the fans into consideration, but at the end of the day, you're the artist. Don't ever feel trapped like you have to make a certain genre of music or a certain style of music to appease fans. Because at the end of the day, I wanted to do more than just hip-hop. I wanted to do more than just pop-punk. And I got to do what the fuck I wanted to do at the end of the day. And I said, fuck what anyone thinks. I'm going to do what I want to do. So, first off, I want to thank everybody that's, given me a chance the last 8 years. I want to thank my fellow trans person, Nikki. Nikki was the first OG fan. I knew Nikki from, basically I've made an Instagram ad for a song years ago. Nikki lived here in my hometown of Cleveland and found that ad and found my music. And Nikki was my OG fan, my first ever OG fan, going all the way back to 2018. So Nikki is an OG. So first off, I want to say special thanks to Nikki. Like, Nikki, you are the G. You are the top G, my G. And most people don't know about Nikki. Nikki is such a great person. So I want to thank the OG fan, Nikki. I want to thank some other people that came along the way. I want to thank my boy, Luis, also known as Rapture and FM Monkeys. We made a lot of music together. Luis is doing his own thing now. That's what's up. Luis was there for a lot of my stuff. Luis helped me a lot over the years. I want to thank, even the ones that I don't associate with anymore. I want to thank Slipkill, because Slipkill was there. I want to thank Tatiana. I want to thank Brandon. I want to thank Fruit. I even want to thank the haters. I want to thank that Sid person that was pissed off about one of those marketing stunts that I did. I want to thank everybody that I did not name here. I want to thank, what's their name? I want to thank Audrey of TTC. I want to thank Fruit. I want to thank Fruit's mom. I want to thank Dark. I want to thank Frankie, just everybody. If I didn't name you here, I want to thank you. Whether you were a hater, whether you were a fan, maybe you were just a person that saw one of my videos and liked one of those videos. If you were there and you gave my content a chance, I want to thank you personally. Because, hey man, without you guys, none of this shit would have existed, right? And that's just how it is for YouTube. YouTubers, content creators, musicians, without the fans, what are those people? They're just music artists without a fan base. They're just content creators without a fan base, right? And that's how I was for the longest time. I was a content creator without a fan base. But many of you guys gave a weirdo like me a chance. I was never supposed to ever have a fan base. Like, I was just supposed to be a person that just put music out there and just kind of faded into oblivion. But somehow we fucking did it. Somehow we developed a small little cult following, and I'm very appreciative of that. Last year we almost got super big. We had some viral moments last year because of you guys, and I'm very appreciative of that. Last year we almost had a big collab go through, and I'm very appreciative of that, even though that collab didn't get to go through because of stupid internet controversy. And I'm very appreciative of that. So, what comes down to me wanting to retire? Or me wanting to quit? I've done this stuff for like 8 years, man. And my most successful year was this last year. Because this last year I took marketing seriously. We went viral several times. Well, this last year I've had more success than I had in all the previous years combined. And, I finally got what I wanted. I wanted to have fans, and I got that last year. I wanted to sell merch, and I got to do that last year. I wanted people to make fan art of me, and people were doing that last year. Like, we literally accomplished everything we ever wanted, right? We even had a big band repost our music. If you know the big band, I'm not going to say their name, but if you know them, you know them. And so I technically got to accomplish a lot of my dreams that I wanted to do music-wise. Of course, I didn't get super famous, but I still got what I wanted at the end of the day. I got to be a streamer, and people would tune into our streams. I got to sell the merch. I got the fan art. I got people that did covers of my music. I'm like, hey, man, I got to accomplish those dreams on a small scale. And that's all that really mattered to me. And in like the last 8 years, you see how the world changed. You grow as a person because you enter the adult world. You see how the political landscape changes. You see how society changes. And there's some realizations you come to, right? You see how cruel the world can be because of the internet. And, these are the facts of the matter. Most people don't notice, if you're a content creator online, like your favorite musician or content creator online, most of their life is going towards their content that you're viewing. Your favorite band that's constantly promoting on social media, most of their time in their life is going towards that. Most of the time you're watching the 60-second video that they made, right? And it's such a short video. But that short video can take people hours to make. Some of these videos take me a long time to make. Some of my shorts on YouTube or TikTok, they take me forever to make because you have to do all of this editing. I don't got a management team. I've had record labels that wanted to sign me. I turned that shit down. So everything that you've ever seen me do on social media has all been me. All the videos, all the music, everything. All been me. And I've devoted a lot of my time to that. And the fact of the matter is, that takes a lot of time out of my life. Like, I've spent, God knows, like all day just editing 2 damn songs. I've spent like 6 damn hours just trying to fucking work on a 20-minute video before. And it takes so much time out of your life. Time that you can use to, work. Time that you can use to spend time with family members. Time that you can use to spend time with loved ones. And I've just got to that point in my life now where I'm just like, dude, I'm ready to put social media and the music stuff behind me so I can get a lot more of my time back. It's like I said, all these content creators you see online making these videos and doing this music, they spend a lot of time just to make a 60-second short on TikTok. It takes a lot of time out of their day, and that's what it was with me. Doing the streams, doing the videos, like, man, that was so much of my goddamn time wasted that I could have used to spend with others, right? And it's like I said, there's things I want to do in my life now where I just don't got enough time to do those things unless I'm willing to give up something. And I ask myself, what am I willing to give up? What's the thing that's taken the most time out of my life so I can do these other things? I want to start a family, right? How can I have time to be there for a child if I'm constantly working on content, dude? If I'm constantly working on music? Can't be there for the child. I'm not going to leave the mother of my child to just, take care of the child alone just so I can continue to do content and music. That's pretty much unfair to the person that would be the mother of my child, right? So if I'm going to be starting a family in the future, I need more time to spend time with my child, right? And so I'm like, okay, we're going to have to give up the music and the content creation so we can get a lot more time back in our life so we can spend time raising a family, right? There's certain career opportunities that I want to do in the future, but I know the online content creation just takes a lot of time out of my life, man. The music takes a lot of time out of my life. And, there's people I want to spend time with that I'm just like, I can't spend time with at the moment, or I can't give enough of my time to because we're doing this stuff. We're doing the YouTube, we're doing the fan merch, we're answering fan mail, stuff like that. And so at the end of the day, part of my decision for retiring comes down to, hey, man, there's these things I want to do in my life, but music and content creation takes up so much of my time. And I can't do these things because I don't got enough time. And so I have to give up something to get more time, if that makes any sense. And so I'm willing to give this up. So that's the first reason, right? I'm willing to give up music so I can have time to start a family. I'm willing to give up music so I can have time to spend more time with people, right? I'm willing to give up all this stuff because, like I said, there is no record label that's ever ran this shit. It's always been me. Every video you see, every song you see, everything you ever see made on this channel, it's always been me doing everything. There's nobody else that's helping me edit the videos. It's always been me. Like, I'm not a big band person that has a record label that can do all this stuff for them. I don't hire people. It's always been me doing this stuff. So that's the first reason. Second reason is like, as time's gone on, I feel like I've made enough music. I feel like I've done everything music-wise I've wanted to do. And I've got to see the peaks of my music creativity. And it's like, I've done everything I've really wanted to do music-wise once again. And I mean, there's some future project ideas that I have in my head, but I think I'd rather just, leave those as just thoughts in my head instead of continuing to make music. I've got to make the goth album I've wanted to make. I've got to make a pop punk album that I've always wanted to make. I've got to make, the rock albums I've always wanted to make. I've got to make every goddamn song that I've always wanted to make, man. And, I've put enough music out there to where it's like, I think I'm ready to just call it quits. I think I'm ready to call it quits. There's not much left that I can really put out there. Have some ideas, but it's like, I think it's that time. Like, I think it's that time, right? Third thing comes down to the social media aspect. I've kind of seen, and this has kind of been my thought process. As I've developed a small cult following on social media, I don't think someone like me deserves to have all this power to influence, right? Because developing a small cult following, it's got me really thinking. It's got me seeing how some of these fans are influenced by the things I do. And they'll repeat some of these things that I do. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, there's no reason why someone like me should be able to influence random people that they've never met to do crazy actions just because they're inspired by me, right? And it kind of feels weird because there's people on the internet that worship me like I'm some type of god. And I'm just a regular motherfucker. I don't think anybody on the internet should worship me like I'm some type of god. I don't think anybody on the internet should worship any musician like they're some type of god. You know what I mean? And there's musicians that I really adore and that I really admire, that I'm really thankful for. For example, Prince. I glaze Prince 24/7, but I'm not going to sit here and worship Prince as some sort of god. And seeing that very weird parasocial relationship with me, my fans, and with other bands and their fans, it's weird. It's weird. And I just don't like that, dude. Like, it's fucking weird. And it's not even just that. I just hate how the music industry and how stuff has changed in recent times. It used to be, in the 80s and 90s, you got a record label, you put out an album, boom, right? There was no parasocial relationship between the fans and the artists unless it was backstage VIP stuff, right? And now it seems like in today's time, if you want to be a musician, you have to be a social media personality. You can't just be a musician like you could in the 80s or 90s or the 2000s. No. If you want to be a musician these days, because of the internet and social media, you have to be a streamer, you have to be a content creator, you have to have a connection with your fans, you have to be willing to talk to your fans. And it's like, I don't want to do that anymore, dude. I'm tired of talking to my fans. I'm tired of having to do streaming. I'm tired of having to be this stupid internet personality just so, people will listen to my music. And I hate the fact that that's what the music industry has become now, dude. You literally have to, it used to be so simple. You get a record label, you put music out, people watch the music videos, boom, done. Now you have to be a streamer. Now you have to make TikToks. Now you have to be a fucking internet comedian. You have to talk to your fans 24/7. You have to have a relationship with your fans 24/7. It's like, I don't understand. Where did we go wrong? It's like you have to do a lot more work now just to even be a musician. I don't think anyone should have to be a streamer or a TikToker just to be a musician, man. And I hate that it's come down to that, where if you want to have a fan base or something like that, you have to do it because that's just how times have changed now, man. Times have changed. I'm talking about a fan base, like an actual community, not Spotify monthly listeners. I'm talking about a fan base that actually cares about you, right? That will repost your music. Fan base that's talking about your music. And I hate that it's come down to that now, man. And I just don't like that. I don't like the fact that I have to do the streaming stuff. I don't like the fact that I have to constantly make TikToks. I hate the fact that you have to appease the fans by talking about politicians and stuff. Like, I'm just here trying to put out music, dude. I don't want to get involved in, I don't want to have to make TikToks about two countries that are going to war with each other and then pretend that I give a damn. I don't give a fuck, man. And that's the fact of the matter. Most of these online personalities, they don't give a fuck about the politics. They're just doing it because, like, they're making these videos because they know if they don't say nothing, their fans are going to try to cancel them. At the end of the day, we're musicians, right? We're not politicians. I have spoken politically about things before, but I just hate the fact that in today's society, as a musician, you're expected to, online, speak about political things. You're expected to, lean a certain way. I'm not a right-winger. I'm not a left-winger. I'm just a moderate liberal who is focused on my life. I'm focused on how am I going to, get hours at work so I can pay my bills. And people want me to be, it's not even just me, people want social media personalities and musicians to be invested in a whole other country's war when I'm over here worried about how am I going to feed myself. I'm like, how can I worry about this other country's war when I'm losing hours at work, meaning there's less revenue coming into my household, and now I'm struggling to eat. Now I'm struggling to pay rent. And the internet expects me to focus all my time on some stupid political bullshit when I'm literally struggling in my life, right? I just hate how the internet's come down to that these days as a musician. Like, you can't be a musician without being forced into, oh, you got to speak about this, you got to speak about that, or else, oh, you're going to get canceled. And it's just like, I don't get it. So at the end of the day, don't like the freaking relationship. I don't like the fact that we have to do like this weird direct relationship with fans. I hate the fact that you can't even just exist as a musician, right? You can't just do that stuff, right? I hate the fact that there's fucking stupid controversy that can go down and stuff like that. And then you're expected to kind of just address it on the spot and not being given time to address it. It's like, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand the way that these things are going anymore. And at the end of the day, I just want more time to be able to spend with people. I'm tired of having that direct, relationship with fans. I think that's a little bit too much. I don't think anyone should ever have that much power, right? And it's like, I just want to enjoy my life and time. I'm tired of being blown up and my notifications about, oh, yada, 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 10, you need to address this. I'm tired of being blown up about, oh, 10, one of your fans are doing this and this and this. You need to address it, because if you don't address it, we're going to cancel you. It's like, I just don't get it, man. We're just out here trying to make music and stuff, and it's like, I just can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. At the end of the day, I enjoyed my time, doing music, doing content creation, doing social media. The fact of the matter is, most of these videos you've seen on my channel have been scripted, over-exaggerated, or shock rock marketing videos. Like, you guys know this shit. In real life, I'm not actually going to do this shit, man. In real life, I'm not actually going to go out of my way to do some of these crazy things that you've seen me do on videos. Most of it's just fucking, for the clicks, for the engagement. Your favorite artist does that stuff too, man. My favorite artist, Prince, has done crazy shit too. A lot of the shit you see on social media is just superficial, scripted, artificial bullshit, man, for marketing reasons, so people's brands can get exposure and get bigger. Like, that's no secret. That's no secret. That's never been a secret, right? At the end of the day, I just want more time to myself. I just want more time to spend with others. I'm just tired with the way that the internet and social media and the music industry works, where you can't even just be a musician. You have to be a streamer, and you have to be all these other things on top of it. I just don't like the weird parasocial relationship aspect that we are forced into, where we have to be involved with our fans 24/7. Like, I just don't like that. I don't like the whole, you have to do the bidding of what the internet wants you to do as a musician. You have to speak about things you don't want to speak about when you're just focused on releasing your music. It's like, I just don't, man. I just don't. And I've had a good run. I've got to do the things I want to do, and I'm ready to just go back to, being me and living a normal life. And so, by the end of this video, once you're done watching this video, I'm going to be logging out of all my socials. I'm going to be logging out of my YouTube account. I'm going to be logging out of my Instagram account. I'm going to be logging out of all my socials. And I'm never coming back. And that's a decision I made. I'm not going to be keeping in contact with any of the fans except the close ones on my Facebook. That's the decision I've come down to. Because at the end of the day, it's just like, I'm tired. I've had my fun. I'm ready to, move on and live a life. And I've spoken about, this is the thing. It seems like the internet really doesn't care about actual change. People on the internet don't want actual change. There was things that I was talking about as a musician, videos I made, being down to earth. How many alternative creators do you know that talk about poverty? We were talking about that on my channel and stuff like that, right? We were talking about that. We were talking about all of that stuff. We were getting deep talking about actual issues, and it seemed like nobody actually cared about change. People just want engagement bait at the end of the day. People don't care about actual change. That's the facts of the matter. And your boy's ready to retire. And so, like I said, at the end of this, after you're done watching this, I'm logging out of all my socials. YouTube, Instagram, all of them. And I'm not going to respond to anybody, because once I log out, I'm never logging back in. So if anyone's going to comment on this video expecting a reply, anyone's going to try to email me expecting a reply, anyone's going to try to contact me on any form of social media except Facebook expecting a reply, I'm not. And I'm never going to log back into these accounts to contact any of the fans. I don't ever want to be involved with any of this stuff anymore. I've just had my fun, and I'm done, and I'm ready to go back and live a normal life again and spend time with the people in my life. And so I will never come back. And I know for a lot of you guys, it's kind of a shocker. This is not an April Fool's prank. This is not a late April Fool's prank. I'm never going to respond to comments. I'm not even going to look to see what people are saying about this or what people comment on any of my stuff in the future. Like I said, once I log out, I'm done. And you guys will never hear from me again. You guys will never see me again. Just want you guys to know that I love you all. And this is the decision I made. I had my fun as a musician. I had my fun as an influencer. I had my fun, and I accomplished the things that I've always wanted to do music-wise. I got my small cult fan base. I got the exposure I wanted, and that's all I wanted. We sold merch at the end of the day. I had fun. But I'm ready to go back, live a normal life, start a family, go get married, and just go back to living. Go back to living. Once you're done seeing this, I'm logging out of all socials. You will never hear from me again, ever. This is going to be the last time I say goodbye, and you will never see me again. There won't be a next time. There won't even be a until next time at the end of this video. This is truly the end, and I want to thank everybody, whether you're a fan or whether you're a hater. This is the end of Tintel Death. This is the end of Rogelio. This is the end of all of those things. No, until next time. This is goodbye forever. Take care. Goodbye.